Welcome back to Konatu's Games, where I strive to survive. This is episode 3 of an Interloper playthrough. I am currently heading back to Timberwolf Mountain from Ash Canyon. Last time I mentioned that I wanted to try to go to the summit, but I realize that I'm not going to have the fatigue to do that. So to climb ropes, you have to have enough energy, basically. And by the time I get to the first or second rope to climb up to the summit, I will not have enough energy due to not being well rested enough. So the plan today is to head down to Timberwolf Mountain and go to the Mountaineer's Hut and drop off loot and rest there. And then I might take a chance at going up to the summit. And why that would be a chance is because I don't have the hacksaw. A hacksaw can spawn up there, but it's not guaranteed. And you need a hacksaw to open all the crates up at the plane crash on the summit. Or I might not take that chance, and I might just go down into Pleasant Valley, look for a hacksaw, and look for a bedroll. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I know I said at the end of the last episode that I would head up to the summit, but I don't think that makes too much sense right now. So I think I'll head down to Pleasant Valley. And Pleasant Valley is a great place to go early game. There's another plane crash over in Pleasant Valley. And there can be a lot of good clothing by that plane crash. And there are a lot of major loot locations in Pleasant Valley. Okay, so bit of a blizzard here. I think I'm just going to wait it out in this cave. Don't know why I put out that fire. That was a mistake. Alright, that's fine. Let me explore this cave a little bit more. There was one path I didn't go down. And then I will make a bunch of teas and cook them up while I wait for that blizzard to pass. So a lot of people don't like Pleasant Valley very much because it's very cold. It's always extremely cold in Pleasant Valley. There's lots of blizzards in Pleasant Valley. But there's a lot of open, flat land. So long as you have good visibility, that can be a boon. And there are a lot of great locations for loot. So there's the barn, I forget what it's called. There is the farmstead, or farmhouse, I think. There's Milton's Crossing. And there's just a ton of loot that you can get in all of those places. And then, of course, there's the plane crash. Alright, that can be useful. I eat some rotten food. So if you eat low condition food, you can get food poisoning. And that will drain your health until it's healed. So it's good to have antibiotics or reishi tea to treat that. You can sleep it off pretty well. I'll take that meat. But let me just look around here first. Alright, well I have antibiotics, so let's give it a shot. Well, didn't that sound appetizing? Now, eating predator meat can be dangerous. It grants a risk of gaining intestinal parasites, and that can be really rough if you're not prepared to deal with it. You need to consume antibiotics or reishi tea for an extended period of time every single day. And how long depends on the difficulty. I believe in Interloper it's something like 20 days. And so it can really take quite a long time to deal with intestinal parasites, and while you have them, you gain a bunch of different penalties. But if you're starving, you might want to risk a 1 or 2% chance of intestinal parasites. Because of course intestinal parasites is better than dying. And much like any other item that you can cook, like teas I think are the best, coffees, you can level cooking by cooking predator meat, so you may as well, even if you don't intend to eat it in the near future. So we're going to see if this blizzard is still going, and then if it is, we'll come back in here and make some stuff, and if it's not, we'll get moving. Alright, still going. I thought maybe it was dying down, but it does not sound like it. Now, I really need a place to sleep. That is a very high priority right now. So I don't want to stay here much longer than I have to. But I could use this opportunity to get some water. Never have too much water. Make a bunch of teas. So this will be time well spent. These are heavy, so I'll toss these on. Just craft all of those teas. Oh, I hope I don't lose well fed right here. Okay, just barely. Let's eat something. Perfect. Alright, let's see how we're doing. It's already night. Still going. We'll spend a little time here. Oh, look at that. It's sort of sunk into the ground. Weird. Let's see what else we can make. Let's finish this out first. Now each of these teas is going to give me a warmth bonus, and it's also going to level cooking. So you can level cooking pretty quickly if you make a lot of teas early on. Alright, looking good. So as soon as that batch is done, we'll grab some torches and we'll head out. Doesn't look like I can get it close enough. Or maybe it doesn't do it for dog food. Let's see. Yeah, I guess not. So right now I'm just going to heat these all up. This was not the best spot to put this fire, but that's alright. That way I have plenty of tea to drink on the way back. Well, you usually only get 2 or 3 before they become cold. And now I'm just going to reset them. Alright, that's enough. They're not all hot, but I have some hot birch bark tea. I have more than I'm going to need. Alright, just missed that. So a stick costs you 10 minutes on your fire, so if you only have 9 minutes, you can't get one. Alright, pretty dark, pretty cold, but I don't really have a choice but to go. I don't have anywhere to sleep, so I just need to head back. Unfortunately, I don't have a hacksaw, so I'll have to leave those saplings, but I'll come back this way when I go up to the summit. I'm not going to worry too much about that guy. Up here, you just stick to the left, and there's eventually a rope that you can climb down to the next level. Should be right over here. You can goat down, but you goat all the way down into the ravine. Echo Ravine. Don't really want to do that right now. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna scare this wolf off because I don't need him to be hassling me. Where is he? Hector and me. Come on. Alright, buddy. I'll light a new torch. I'm going to drop some stuff because I currently can't go... I'll just drop this. It's fine. I can't use that rope right now because I have too much weight. I don't need this. Alright. And again, if I want any of that stuff, I'm going to come this way when I go back to... when I go to the summit eventually. Now, if I had a bedroll, there's a little cave up here on the left that I would use to sleep in. This is going to warm me up a bit. But I don't, so I just need to head back to the Mountaineer's hut. It sounds like the wind might be picking up, which could potentially be a problem. I hear ptarmigan, but I can't really see them. Ah, there they are. So you can make some, a warmer bedroll out of their feathers. If you already have a bedroll, it's a modification. And you can also make some insulation. Is any of this still hot? Nope, guess not. So there's a cave right there, I believe. But I don't want to spend much time here. I don't think it's warm. And again, I have no bedroll. Yeah, it doesn't look warm. Oh, it's a little warm. Okay. I hate to smash open all these cans, but I want to maintain well-fed right now. If I get back to Timberwolf, if I get back to the Mountaineer's hut, there should be some rabbits out there. It shouldn't be too difficult to sustain myself. Let's try going this way. I usually go what I consider to be the long way around. I go down that way and to the right. But let's go this way. I think we'll just have a better view. Okay, there's some rabbits. Get some of those. Hopefully that didn't scare them, but it might. All right. It's a little far off. Alright, it's getting pretty cold. The wolves are gonna love me. I hear it getting pretty windy as well. Let's see what we got up here. Is this the ravine? Sure looks like it. Alright. Oh, I know where I am. I mistook that cave for just a different cave. I was incorrect. This is the long way around. It's actually not a way around at all. Which is certainly longer than actually getting there. Okay. Oh, don't roll. Okay. Plenty of matches at least. But I am quite cold, so I am going to warm up in this cave. And then I'll keep going. See, down there, there's a log that you can use to cross the ravine, and then there's another cave past that. That's the cave I thought I was at. Actually, I'm going to start a fire anyway, so I may as well light a torch. So I don't want to stay here too long because I'm tired. So I do want to just get this going, heat some tea up, heat myself up, and then get moving again. I'm also going to drink some of that birch tea to keep some health regeneration, so that being fatigued doesn't cause too much harm. Put some of this heavy stuff on. And 1 coal for heat. Alright. already warming up a ton. This is pretty fast. Let's see. Let's put this down. Again, I hate to smash these open, but I really want to keep that well fed going. Alright, let's get going. That fatigue is really brutal. So I really want to get somewhere I can sleep as soon as possible. One of the biggest issues with having low fatigue or high fatigue, it's kind of a strange name, is that it makes you much slower because it decreases your carry capacity by quite a lot. I'm hoping I can get some, yep, there we go, some wind protection. There's a bunch of reishi over here. I don't really care too much about that right now. I will eventually come back past here anyway. Sorry, just fumbling with auto walk there. Auto walk has to be enabled, by the way, so I think it really makes the game much less tedious. And it's much easier on my hands too. But it has to be enabled in the accessibility menu. I'll show you that here. So auto walk on. And then by default on PC, if you click Z, you'll move forward until you click it again, or until you move backwards, usually by inputting S. We're coming up on this log bridge to get past the ravine. Right over here. A lot of people don't like auto walk because if you're not paying a ton of attention, right, if you're just kind of relax a little bit or something, it's very easy to walk right off a cliff. So there's another cave. If I keep going straight, there'll be a cave on the left. But I don't have time for that because there's no bedroll there. And more than anything right now, I need a bed. If I make it back to the Mountaineer's hut in one piece, then this will have been a pretty successful trip. You know, in the first episode I said when I go to Ash Canyon, that technical backpack, it often kills me. Well, I'm still alive, but I am not in the clear yet. I'm also about to pass through an area with a lot of animal spawns. There can be wolves, bear, and moose. Let's Speak of the devil. Forgot about that. So the worst thing that could happen right now would be if there was an aurora. If there was an aurora, I would have no defense against wolves. You know what? I'm pretty heavy right now and I have tons of coal. I don't really need that. This situation is not great. But I should be pretty close to shelter, and then it'll all be fine. Problem now is that I'm walking directly into the wind. And that's where I want it to be, but that's fine. Just go around this way. There's the ice hut right there, so I know exactly where I am. The question is just whether this torch will get blown out on my way. I do have a flare, but I may need to switch to it pretty quickly. You know what? I'm going to switch to it right now. Because the last thing I need is for my torch to burn out and a wolf to kill me while I'm pulling out a flare. Now that sounds like a bear. Yup. And I'm very slow right now. So that could be a problem. I'm going to drop my decoys. Alright. And he doesn't seem interested in getting me. Alright, almost there. The marine flares are supposedly more effective against timber wolves. I think they drain their morale a little bit more. Timber wolves attack in packs, and you need to basically throw flares at their faces or shoot them to break their morale. So I think marine flares deal more morale damage to timber wolves. However, they burn out much faster than regular flares. So this one might not even make it to that hut. Now granted, I'm moving very slowly, right? So that is part of the issue here. And that's because I'm way over carry capacity. And I'm also walking straight into the wind. Alright. We're about to be warm, and we have a bed. Let's use this flare while we can to start a fire. Oh, died out just in time for me to use a match instead. I think that's happened twice in this playthrough so far. Alright, let's throw some coal on here, get warm. I want to eat a little bit. I don't think I have any food. I sure don't. So what I can do is I can consume some of this stuff, which isn't great. It's not a good situation. And I'm going to sleep for 1 hour while I make some water. Just so I'm not losing as much health. I'm going to see if I can find a little bit of food. There should be some cattails I haven't harvested yet. There might be a rabbit or something over here. Looks like the wind has died down. I'm not as encumbered. Bear's still over there. You can barely see him, but right in front of me you can see his breath. I think I already got these. Yeah. So that wolf is actually running from the bear. Not all animals interact with each other, but wolves will run from the bear sometimes. Alright, great. Get some of this. We'll see if there's some more over here. I may have already collected a bunch of this. Great. So I believe that 6 cattails is enough to get you through a night, which will let me recover some health, and maybe keep well fed for a little bit longer. with my food situation, my bedroll situation, I don't think I'm going to go to the summit right now. I think I'm going to drop into Pleasant Valley. I believe I already got all these cattails. I'm going to head to oh, I did not. I'm going to head to Pleasant Valley and get some clothing and check a bunch of major locations and hopefully find a bedroll. And if I do, then I'll probably come back here, assuming I have some food. If I don't find a bedroll anywhere in Pleasant Valley, then maybe I'll end up going... or a hacksaw, because you can get to the summit just fine if you're fully rested and you leave from the Mountaineer's Hut. But I really need a hacksaw as well. There are plenty of places where a hacksaw can be in Pleasant Valley, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I've seen mixed opinions on how useful cattail stalks are. Obviously, you know, if you're starving like I am, I think anyone would agree. Grab the food that's just growing out of the ground. Eat it. But people disagree about whether or not you should prioritize collecting them early game. I think it's worth it. They're pretty lightweight. You can get many of them. And they let you gain and maintain well-fed much easier than relying on other forms of found food that may or may not be readily available. If you put destroyed items in a container, they'll be deleted. Acts like a trash can. Alright, I'm going to feed this fire a little bit. I want to keep it going through the night. I'll get more sticks, that's not an issue. Ooh, I'm going to sleep relatively late into the day. I'm going to sleep 10 hours. I should be warm during the day. It shouldn't be a problem, but we'll see. And I'm going to drink some birch bark tea. Get myself a little bit more health regen. Alright. I'll sleep for 10 hours. Okay. I'm basically good as new. Alright. It's a little bit late in the day, but I'm going to get going. I'm going to take some more water with me. I'll take it all. I'll leave a little bit. I don't have any food to leave here. I would love to do that, but I do not have any. But I can leave... Nope. Oh, here we go. I'll leave one of those. And I'll leave some matches as well. Huh. Alright. Let's go. So it's pretty cold, but the trip to Pleasant Valley is an easy one. And there's a bunker as soon as you get into Pleasant Valley. And if I'm cold, I can use that to warm up. My plan is to head to the plane crash, where I can get some warmer clothing. Sometimes there can be a moose over here. Ooh, not even close. That's alright, I'm not going to stop for them. I will. I'll stop for them. I don't want to be too reliant on cattails. Alright, that's enough. I've had terrible aim in this series. I swear, it's not usually that awful. I'm almost afraid for when I get the bow. Which I think I'm pretty decent with. But, you know, when you're recording, maybe not. We'll see. So except for the moose that can be here, this path is usually pretty safe. I don't think there are any wolves here, or if there are, they're pretty uncommon. Of course they can follow you if you know, lead them from somewhere else, or if you have things that smell, they could be drawn to you over here. But in general, this is a pretty safe route. I'd love the thermos. Again, that's another thing that people are sort of they disagree about the usefulness of it. I think it's very useful because normally your drinks get cold after you only have enough time to drink 2 or 3 of them. You know, 0 in my case because I always forget. But with a thermos, you can drink 5 or 6 before they get cold. So it really lets you stay out in the cold for much longer. If I had a thermos, by the time I remembered that I had hot drinks, I probably would have still had hot drinks. So I'm getting a little cold here, but that'll be okay. Like I said, there's a bunker, so I'll just stop in there, warm up. I'll lose a little bit of health, but I have plenty of birch tea. The biggest issue right now is food. Food is the issue. There's some deer near the plane crash. And I believe there's a cave with a bed in it. So I can get some food there. Maybe, if I'm willing to start a fire anyway. And if the wind is okay. And then, where I'm going to head after that, I'll be walking along a river, and there'll be plenty of cattails as well. In Interloper, you're basically just walking from place to place until you end up with a hacksaw and a hammer and plenty of matches. And once you have a hammer and a hacksaw, you can start cutting down saplings, and you can head over to a forge, make arrowheads and a knife and a hatchet, and then you have all your basic tools. You can start harvesting things even while they're frozen. Your harvesting times in general go way up, and you can start to hunt. Before you hunt, you're really reliant on whatever food you find, on cattails, and on rabbits, ptarmigan, small game. So you can take that rope down, but I'm going to goat down over here. This one's a little bit dangerous, but it's not too bad. And you can see the bunker right there. That's where I'm heading. I'm just hitting left and right, just alternating. Popping out from the wall and going back in. I'm going to check this house real quick before heading into that bunker, because I don't want to spend time losing heat after I warm up. I'll just check it right now and then warm up. Alright, there's usually nothing in these, but we will see. I might find, you know, a little bit of clothing. Do I have oil? Okay, I wanted to know if I had a jerry can, because I don't want to destroy a jerry can by refueling, because they're refillable. It's not a big deal, but I can talk about that later when it actually is relevant. I really like Pleasant Valley. There's just so much cool stuff here. Great, that's an upgrade. Some of those grates open and some of them don't. So you should always check, just make sure. Books have a slightly higher chance of successfully starting a fire than sticks do. So I always like to carry just a few books, a couple of books. Let's see. Alright, I think that's about it. So I'm going to stay here for just an hour or so and warm up. Alright, not great, but good enough. I don't want to lose too much daylight. So now I'm going to head to the plane crash. It's nice that it's late in the day. You know, eventually it'll be a problem if it's dark and I'm still out here. But for now, it's nice and warm. I don't really want to take time to check that hunter's blind. I'd rather just keep moving. But I would love some more ptarmigan. Oh, that one was a little closer than I thought. That's alright. Whoop. Okay, almost missed him there because of auto walk. Alright, so I'm going to go this way. I don't know this path super well, but I think the plane crash is in this general direction. Let's see him fly away up there. There it is. Much closer than I thought, actually. Just right here. So hopefully we get some nice clothing here. There can be a bear up here, I believe. There's usually some wolves nearby on that side of the plane crash. But once we go over there, which is where we're going, I don't think there's any predators over there. This is great. Usually when I go to the plane crash, I am freezing. but I have pretty good warmth right now, and so I'm going to be able to take my time looking for some stuff. So there's a ton of suitcases, and they can have clothing. There's a ton of bodies. It was a passenger plane. And there are these overhead bins. They can have clothing too. Here's a Polaroid. If I go to this location and I map, it will reveal a large portion of the map, more than mapping usually reveals. And let's see what else is here. You gotta check between the seats as well, because there can be suitcases there. The plane can be a little disorienting because it's on an angle, right? It's a little nauseating, in my opinion. Hopefully not for you. I know some people, games in general, but Long Dark nauseates them. And they recommend turning up the field of vision for that. But I already have mine maxed out. I just like being able to see more, frankly. Alright, sometimes there's a soda down here. Nope, no soda. And now it's all suitcases and bodies. Wool socks. Great. They need to be repaired. That's fine. Those are the best socks we're going to find. Hopefully we'll find another pair soon. It'd be great if we found them right here. There's really a ton of stuff here. Or at least there can be. You know, sometimes you get almost nothing. It's worth coming in here. There are some more overhead containers. Alright, half a degree. I'll take it. Yeah, there really wasn't that much here this time around. I just found those socks. That was basically it. Baseball cap. A shirt. Alright. Oh, and this guy. He tried. Alright, I guess that's it. Not very much. Not very much at all, but that's alright. I still got wool socks. That's a great find. And I believe there's a deer over here, so I can start a fire, warm up a bit, and harvest some deer meat. Yep, right here. Grab some feathers. Those will be useful for making arrows later on. Sure, we'll use a book. We'll find more books. Doesn't matter. Now I think the hotter it is, the faster this will thaw out. I have absolutely no food. I have some teas, and I can probably use those to not lose well fed while I check out this cave. Hopefully the deer has, you know, a kilo or two of meat. I'd love its hide as well, but it's not super important. So that's a bed. You can't take it or anything, but you can use it. Gives a small warmth bonus. Alright. Let me drink this, mostly for some calories, actually. And then I'll drop this, just so things aren't chasing me while I do this. Let's harvest this. If I had a pot, I think I could make broth, but I do not, so I will just make that. Let me drink. Let's see. It's cutting it close, but the ptarmigan will be done by then. That sounds pretty close. Alright, let's add, let's add some cedar. And let's heat up some... Let's cook some tea. Notice often feathers spawn while you harvest. Alright, 10 minutes. Make some of this. I'm going to eat this right away. Take this. Drink some water. Now I'll warm up some tea. That way I can forget about it. Oh, there's some good torches. Alright. Nope, don't want it. That'll do. Alright, so now I'm going to go down this mountain. I'm going to head to the farmhouse. Farmhouse is one of my favorite bases in the game. I'm not at the point where I'm establishing a main base. I might establish a regional base, but I really want to just keep moving. until I find the hacksaw and the hammer. Those are the most important things right now. Man's floating a little bit. A lot of things float in this game. Ropes are the strangest to me because they just float off the rock. They don't touch anything. It's so strange. They should, you know, drag down, but they just don't. Could go to Draft Dodger's cabin, but I don't really want to take the time to do that right now. I think there's always some reclaimed wood here. Not that it matters a whole lot, but I think there's always reclaimed wood. There's also a ton of cattails, so rivers usually have cattails. So I'm going to collect some of that on my way. I'm going to go down there. And that's going to lead me to the farmhouse. So basically whatever direction you go from here, you're gonna find something. But I think this is the closest major location. And so I usually like to go from the plane crash to here, or vice versa. Let's drink some reishi, warm up a little bit. Just keep going. Ah, so for a second there, you saw that double chevron on the temperature meter. Went to only 1. The warming up bonus actually made a difference for a second, but then it got a little bit colder. So over here, you can just go up whenever you find it to be convenient. I think I'll probably find food at the house. I'm not too concerned about getting a ton of cattails right now. I'm still just going to follow the river, more or less. You can see those structures over there. They're not trees. I don't think they're trees. They're some sort of... Oh, hello. You really snuck up on me, buddy. There can be a lot of wolves right here, actually. Yeah, there's another. When you aim at them, they will charge. But you just keep the torch between you and just keep aiming. So yeah, these are some sort of agricultural structures, I guess, or maybe this used to be an orchard? An orchard? Orchard, yeah. So maybe it was, you know, maybe they grew fruit here or something. I don't really know if Canada has the type of ecosystem to support that. I imagine they do in some places and not in others. Yeah, definitely trees. But they're bolstered up, so I'm guessing this was an orchard. The wind is picking up, which could be a problem. Yep, I'm just going to go for it because I don't want this wolf to catch up to me. And there's a basement door right here. So this is the farmhouse basement. We have a whole house to loot. So I'm going to call it here, and next time we will loot this place. And then, depending on when we find the hacksaw and the hammer, I will head over to the barn next, and then probably over to Thompson's Crossing, not Milton. Milton is in the mountain town. I'll head over to Thompson's Crossing, and if I still don't find anything at that point, then I'll start heading over to Mystery Lake or Coastal Highway. I'm not sure. I'll decide next time. I like Mystery Lake a lot. But anyway, I'll have some time to think about that, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.